Yeah. Welcome back. Welcome back to another episode of On the Grind, Coach. I'm your host, Chris Allen. And it feels good, man, to be here with you on this Thursday night. Just going to share the platform tonight with a gentleman. I'm telling you, I'm so excited about tonight's show. I'm excited about all my guests, man. I'm excited about all my guests, but sometimes you have those guests that you follow for a long period of time and never had a true opportunity to meet with them. But then when the opportunity comes along, you get excited about it. So tonight is no different. So we've been online and on Facebook trying to create a time and a space for us to connect. The opportunity happened, and I couldn't be more honored to share the platform tonight. I'm telling you, tonight, y'all, it's gonna be an absolutely amazing show. If you can, you need to go get you a pen, go get you a pad, go get you some paper. I don't know if you're gonna do computer, whatever it is, or however you take some notes. You need to get those things ready. Because I'm telling you, the stuff that's going to come out of this gentleman's mouth tonight is going to be life-changing. It's going to be impactful for you. Take time to listen, learn, put yourself in a posture of receiving. I'm telling you, tonight's going to be an absolutely amazing show. Ladies and gentlemen, today we have an extraordinary guest. Someone who has a life story that is nothing short of just legendary. He is a walking testament to the power of resilience, discipline, and an unshakable mindset. You know, this show is all about mindset. That's what I want to be able to bring, the best mindset in the industry, in life, just to be able to come and impart some words of wisdom. The gentleman is a true warrior in every sense of the word. He has turned childhood trauma into a driving force, mastering martial arts at an elite level and using his experience to empower millions around the world. Then included in multiple Hall of Fame. He has built a business empire with over 22,000 distributors in just a short amount of time, in 5 months, I believe it is. He has shared the stage with some of the greatest thought leaders of our time. Les Brown, Zig Ziglar, and so many others. But let me tell you something. What truly has set this man apart is his ability to break barriers. Not just for himself, but for anyone, I told you guys, but for anyone that's willing to listen, to learn, and to apply the principles of success. From fasting over 100 days on just water and juice to proving that the mind controls everything. He has redefined what's possible for the human spirit. And if you're ready to unlock your true potential, break through your limitations, and discover the mindset that creates champions, then buckle up, because tonight's episode is about to be a game changer for you. Just focus and prepare yourself, put yourself in that posture. My absolute honor, my absolute privilege to welcome to the show, one, the only, Dr. Stan Breakthrough Harris. There? Okay, we got some technical. There we go. Here we go. Let's go. There?
Hey, there we go.
There he is. There he is. Let's do it.
Awesome, man.
How are you?
Well, man, I'm too blessed to be depressed, too blessed to be stressed, too glad to be sad. I'm too anointed to be disappointed, too elated to be agitated, too legit to quit, too grounded to be confounded, too grateful to be hateful, too gifted to be restricted, too good to be withstood, and too saved not to be getting paid. Business is booming, crypto zooming. I'm happy, baby. Especially to be with you, the one and only Chris Allen, the brother like no other, the master that helps turn around people's disaster. Too strong to be weak, too sweet to be sour. You can't take credit. It's all God's power.
Woo! Like I told y'all, I knew he was gonna come with something. Man, we have followed I followed you for a long period of time, and you have come up with some of the most amazing. What do you call those? Are those affirmations? What do you call it?
Affirmations, declarations, yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes. So
Affirmations, declarations.
I get that from Muhammad Ali. I have three main mentors growing up, can I briefly, if I can share?
Let's do it.
Number one, Muhammad Ali. Number two, Bruce Lee. And number three, my mommy. All the Lees.
All the Lees. All the Lees.
All the Lees. So Muhammad Ali said this, though, something that was really life. He said I was the greatest. Now, most people heard that part. That's not even, I mean, that's okay. That's not the best part. The best part is this. He said I was the greatest a long time before I ever believed it.
Wow.
Wait, what? In other words, he figured out what he wanted to be. He figured out where he wanted to go. And he said, if I can say it long enough and loud enough, I'll hear myself. I'll start believing it. When I believe it, I'll have to behave that way.
Right.
So I started saying, wait a minute. And then the Bible says, Job 22:28, Job, it says, thou shalt decree a thing, and it shall be established unto thee, and the light shall shine upon thy ways. In other words, when you speak and decree something, then what will happen is you establish it in the motion, and then the light, things will come to help have that come to pass. As a matter of fact, Proverbs 18:21, death and life are in the power of the tongue. And I used to use my tongue to bring death to my own dreams, my own aspirations, my own everything. And matter of fact, I was addicted to bashing and belittling myself. And then I learned to create new habits of believing in, and then get this now, believing in and bettering myself. And then I became addicted to believing and bettering myself. So now, my friend, I feel like I'm a debtor and I want to pass this on. So thank you for what you do to make a difference in people's lives. And I want to just be a blessing to your listeners here today. And man, we're going to have a good time. I mean, I don't know about nobody else, but you and we're going to have a good time.
Before we jump in, I know we're going to jump into a lot of stuff tonight, and I want to hear your story. I like to start from the beginning. Let's go to the middle, and then where we are right now, because I really believe that your journey is simply amazing. I think the people need to hear that journey. But where did the affirmations for yourself come in? Like, when did you start really believing in the affirmation? Because you are a believer, and you know.
No. Can I make an adjustment?
Let's do it.
Breakthrough believing believer. Thus, I'm an awesome, anointed, achieving achiever. Oh, can I say that again? I just want to hear it myself. I'm not just a believer. I'm a breakthrough believing believer. Therefore, I'm an awesome, anointed, achieving achiever. Now, where did all this come from? I'll tell you.
That's what we're talking about.
I'll tell you where it came from. It came from me hearing people speak, and I would look at them and I was like, that's impossible. I could never do that.
Right.
Let me say it again. This is where it started. I was like, how do speakers, and then how did these guys know what to say? They don't even have notes. I mean, I'm like, I could never do that. The one day it dawned on me. If they're doing it, maybe if I get mentored and learn the same way they're doing it, maybe I could learn to do that.
That's good.
So here's what I want your audience. This is one of the most breakthrough things I teach people that happened for me. And by the way, I hate to put it to y'all this way, but I heard one of my favorite speakers was going to be interviewed tonight, so I had to show up to hear him. And it's me. Now, wait a minute. That's not egotistical. It's the truth. But let me tell you why. When I didn't like me, nobody else liked me.
Wow.
Now, maybe my mama, the Lord, you know.
Right.
When I didn't like my speech, listen, this is one of the breakthrough. When I didn't like my speaking, nobody else did. When I started liking my speaking, by the way, all four of my children came to me at separate times and said, you're my favorite speaker. But I first started saying that about myself. I'm one of my favorite speakers. I mean, I show up to speak places. I mean, recently I was at a place and all these powerful speakers, were there. And I said, listen, we got a lot of powerful speakers, but I showed up to hear one of my favorite. That's me.
I love it. I love it.
But here's the thing, though. Again, the scripture says in Numbers 13:33, I think it is, we were as grasshoppers in our eyes, so we were in their eyes. Here's what I learned from that. The way you view yourself is oftentimes is communicated, and other people will view you through your eyes.
Through those lenses. So
when you think little of yourself, you're projecting that. People pick up on it. Now, there's some people going to try to think little of you no matter what. You know, that's so most people, though, view you through the way you view yourself. There's a smaller amount of people going to view you no matter what you do. They viewing you through their own eyes. You know, that's how they can look at a perfect Jesus and say they found fault. They were taking their own faults and projected on him. Then there's just one or two people, just one or two, Chris, that'll see you through the eyes of God. And whenever you connect with somebody who sees you through the eyes of God, you better hold on with everything in you, because they're going to help pull out of you the greatness that's in you that you don't even know is there. And that's what I was privileged to have in my life. People that surrounded me when I thought it was nothing and nobody, they were like, no, you could do this. And I was like, no, I can't. But you know what, Chris? I didn't want to let them down. So I tried it just so they would feel okay. And I was shocked when it worked. I was like, whoa. And again, I went over and over. And one day, after doing this many years, I started saying, well, wait a minute, why not just start believing in myself? But it was a long journey. But I'm telling you, the ones you're listening, I'm telling you, my wife said, you're the most confident man I've ever met in my life. I said, no, you should have saw me when I was younger. I was the most lack of confident person you ever met in your life. And she didn't believe me. So now she never told me. She's very quiet. But she said, you got one of the most pure hearts. You're one of the most integral men I've ever met in my life. Wow. And she said, but on that point, she said, I said to myself, he lying. Until, Chris, she met me. I mean, she went with me when I was speaking in Atlanta. One of my heroes when I first started in the martial arts in our class, his name was Cook, Alvin Cook. And we were separated for like 30 years, and we got reconnected. I said, hey, Alvin, I'm speaking in Atlanta. Come down, let's reconnect. And because he lived in Atlanta, he came over, he came late. And in the back of the room, he was sitting with his girlfriend. Literally, about every 5 minutes, you could hear this. I can't believe this. About every 5 minutes, I can't believe this. And after it's over, everybody's like, and he tells his girlfriend, he tells my wife, he says, we figured he could speak, but we never heard him say a word. And I'm sitting back, I'm sorry, but I hadn't been connected with him in 30 years, and I'm shocked. He's up there so articulate, he's speaking, and my heart's burning, and it's causing me. He's like, we had no idea this guy had all that in him. Wow. And you listening to me tonight, you watching us, that's why we do what we do. You have no idea what's deep hidden on the inside of you is covered. It's like gold, my friend. When you find it, it's covered with dross. But the Bible says, take away the dross from the silver, and there shall come forth a vessel for the finer. And so I want to be tonight in our conversation, we're going to be what I call good, godly gold finders. Matter of fact, gold digger is a bad term. I'm going to make it a good term. We're a good gold digger. We're going to dig till we find gold inside of you, baby, because I don't care what they told you. There's gold in there somewhere.
Yeah. Let's go back. Let's go back to the beginning. So where are you from? Where's home? Country boy? Were you city? What's going on? Let's go back.
Do we have to go way back there? Okay. You mean back where, like, some of my relatives, they still call me Stank.
Stank.
I say, I don't even stink no more, but they see some people, well, again, they only view you from your past. Right. So my main message is every master was once a mess or best mediocre. Right. Therefore, every mess or mediocre person can one day be a master.
Right.
Now, Mr. Allen, whenever a mess or mediocre person becomes a master, they now have a message that if they market properly to the masses, they can make millions. And that's my story. And I want it to be your story. So my story starts way back 64 years ago. So I am 64 years wise. I didn't say old. I said wise. Come on, make you feel better. 64 years wise, right? But I was born in Harrisburg, Baltimore, Maryland. And then my mom moved up to Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, where we grew up most of our lives. My dad left when I was 3, never came home, never called, never sent mom a dime. When I was 6 years of age, just out in the middle of the field playing, a 6-year-old boy, a gang of teenagers came my way. You know how your body gives you signals something bad's about to happen. And these teenagers grabbed me, and one of them hit me in the stomach. Bam, knocked the air out of me. Trying to breathe. And they start beating all over me. Man, I'm just a little 6-year-old boy crying, help! I'm calling for mom. I'm calling for the police. I'm calling for it. And they're beating on me. I'm beating them, man. And they get to the point they pick me up and slam me on the ground. And then they start stomping on me like I'm an ant or a roach and kicking all over me. And literally, I'm crying, I'm screaming, and I'm bleeding from every orifice. And that wasn't enough. One of the guys flipped me over on my back, took a great big old bucket of tar, and they poured the tar on my body, poured it on all of my face, took a bunch of feathers and threw them on me, and literally left me out in the middle of a field to die. I was a 6-year-old boy.
You're 6 years old.
It was taking just one teenager could. Right. It was a whole gang of them. Thank God somebody finally found me. Now, tar wasn't hot, but it was thick. And so, of course, I couldn't open up my eyes. I couldn't hardly breathe, and had to keep my mouth shut. And I'm, digging to make it in the air hose so I could try to breathe through my nose. And they get me to the hospital. But I've been through physical abuse, verbal abuse, sexual abuse. I've been beat with a steel choker chain dog for a chain for a dog and so forth. One of my mom's boyfriends, I've been beat with a fiberglass bow and arrow. I mean, you name it. And again, the sexual abuse and obviously the racial abuse and the financial abuse. I mean, matter of fact, I tried to commit suicide on 2 occasions before I was even 12 years of age. And I'm so glad I failed. See, somebody's listening to us today and you're in a hopeless situation, my friend. But I'm telling you, my friend, by the way, my word for hope, my acronym, one of my acronyms is hold on, pain ends.
Ooh, hold on, pain ends. Hope. Hold on. We're gonna put that in the comments. Hope.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Pain if you lose your hope and you're thinking this pain is never going to end, and so you say, let me just get myself out of here, my friend. But also hope. Another one of my acronyms is have only positive expectations. That's what really started changing my life when I started having only positive expectations. See, my life was so negative. I got to the place I just thought, if something good happened, that's not for me. If something bad happened, yeah, that's what I deserve. I mean, it's crazy, but you can become like that, my friend. And that's the way I became. And my life was a mess. When I tell people every master was once a mess, because now look at me. I'm a grandmaster in the martial arts. Look at me now speaking. I've been paid as much as $1,000 a minute. I mean, look, I'm living the life beyond my dreams because I didn't even have any dreams when I was a child. I was speaking the other day and the guy asked me a question I'd never been asked before. He said, tell me about your dreams. I never thought about it. I was like, dude, I never had any dreams. I was just trying to exist. I was just trying to. I didn't have any dreams, goals, and aspirations. Right, it wasn't until, like I said, I made up my mind. I was like, you know what? I'm sick and tired of getting beat up on, being bullied and all that. I had a Popeye moment. I stands all I can stands, and I can't stands no more.
Right.
And my mom wanted a free month of karate lessons, and that was the ticket. Because I went with her. Now, I had brothers. None of them were interested. I watched. They were kicking, screaming, hollering. And after mom's free month ran out, she started paying her money. Free is good, but if you're serious, you invest. And my mom got better every month until she got too good. Now, you got to ask me what's too good.
What's too good?
Her and her boyfriend got in a fight and she knocked him out cold. When I saw my 5-for-1 mom knock out I say, this karate stuff, this is my ticket. This is what I got to have. And so she started in what's called Shotokan karate. I got started in what's called Ishinryu karate. And when I started, I tripped on my own feet. They called me Mr. Baboon. And I said, y'all better laugh, because by this time I had enough. I said, laugh now, because one day I'm going to whoop all y'all. Now, that wasn't the right attitude. But
that wasn't the right attitude at that time.
It did come true. Before my sensei, the Grandmaster Walter Dobson, died, he said, Dr. Stan Harris would call him Dr. Breakthrough. When I pass away, he inherits my belt, the whole system. He carries on my legacy. That was one of the greatest honors of my life. The same kid that was tripping over his own feet, the same kid that most everybody made fun of, called me Mr. Baboon, laughed at me, right? They're not laughing now. So I'm trying to tell you. So that's my start. So I know some people have a pretty decent start, but I'm just telling you, my friend, it wasn't all a bed of roses. And I want to say this, and I'll turn it over to you. Pain and adversity causes some men and women to break. It causes others to break.
Listen, hold on. I'm sorry, sir. I'm sorry. With all due, are y'all catching? Did y'all hear what he just said? Did I tell you? Y'all need to go get your pen, a pad, whatever you need to get. I'm telling you, tonight's episode is going to be monumental. So many people, sir, I'm telling you right now, I can tell already. So many people are going to reflect back on this particular episode because you're saying some powerful stuff. You're talking affirmations. You're talking about declarations that people just take I think you didn't drop like 5 or 6 of them already. If they would just put that into their mental psyche, write that stuff down on their wall, on their mirror, you saying some stuff. Can you say that last one more time for
me? Pain and adversity. It causes some men and women to break. It causes others to break bad. And I was that way for a while. I had a chip on my shoulder. I was mad at the whole world. I'm mad at God. I'm mad at everybody, everything. Mad at my dad for never showing up. Mad at my mom worked 2 jobs to take care of us, right? She didn't want to be on welfare. But as a little kid, you're like, I want my mom. right? A lot of stuff that happened to me wouldn't have happened if my mom would have been. This is how you think. And as you get older, you're like, wow, she did that sacrifice to take care of me, right? And it caused me to love her even more. But back then, your little mind. So pain and adversity causes some to break. They just throw up in life. As a matter of fact, many people died. They just didn't have the grace to lay down, right? They just gave up on life. They just existing like a dog, like an animal, just existing from day to day. But then others, allow the pain and adversity to cause them to break bad. And they mad at the whole world. They mad at themselves. And by the way, I was that way. And then one of the things I learned is bitterness and hatred, here's another one, does more harm to the vessel in which it's stored than the victim on whom it's poured. See, when you hate, the one you hurt the most is yourself. So what I found out about those teenagers, see, hurt people that haven't been healed will hurt people.
That's good.
But hurt people who have been healed can now be used to help other people. And that's what I've committed my life to. Educating, empowering, and elevating people to break through any barrier that would try to hinder their success. I mean, I love what Booker T. Washington said it best. He said, true success. And here's where you gotta ease up on yourself because you've been judging yourself too much. Some of us came up when we were taught you're black, you got to be twice as good. I mean, all that extra pressure on us, like you got to be twice as good, 3 times as good. And so we have a lot of pressure sometimes. Watch this. Booker T. Washington said this. He said, true success should not be dependent just on what someone accomplishes, but rather what they had to go through to accomplish it. So Dr. Breakthrough just says it this way. True success should not be based on what you have accomplished, but rather what barriers you had to break through in order to accomplish it. When you take that definition, if you just look like me and Brother Chris, you a success. You further success than you realize. But again, pain and adversity will cause some men and women to break, others to break bad. Here it is though, but others to break records. See, I allow my pain and adversity to push me to be a record breaker. And I'm constantly now bettering myself. Now I don't compete with other people, but I compete against my own self. I break my own records and I keep doing it more and more and more. So again, I know you had it rough and you're having it rough now. I hate to tell you this, but you're going to have it rough later on too. So you just got to learn, my friend, successful people. Here's another one. And that is this. We do things when we feel like it. We do things when we don't feel like it. We just keep doing things until we do feel like it. Oh, come on. That's it right there. Let me drop that. They missed that one. See, in the martial arts, they taught me this, Brother Chris. They said, if while you practice, now this is going to be deep. Y'all got to get this one. It sounds real simple, but it's deeper than it sounds. If while you practice, you don't want to quit, you haven't really practiced. I'm like, excuse me? Yeah. In other words, you got to work out and your body says, I had enough. And the will says, no, you keep going. So if while you practice, you don't want to quit, you haven't really practiced.
Right.
That transformed my life because when I got involved in business and everybody was discouraged, I'm like, what are y'all getting discouraged for? See, in my mind, I was thinking, if while you do business, you don't want to quit, you haven't really been doing business. So they asked Muhammad Ali, they said, how many push-ups do you do? He said, I don't know. I don't start counting until they hurt.
You know, that as a trainer, man, in the gym, that's something I'm always talking to my clients about. It's like those last few forced reps, those are the ones that's counting. It's not the ones where you feeling good and you're like, okay, I done did 22. Probably the weight was too light for you. And whatever you were doing was light. Because if you don't feel like you want to throw up or that, like you want to give up, that's when you know you push your body to that breaking point. That's when you know that you push your body to that point where it's going to have to respond now. So those last few reps, those are the ones that are going to count. That's good, Doc.
Yes.
You talked about up until 6 years old. They're very traumatic. Your story is very traumatic. Growing up 6 years old, talked about that. Take us past that 6-year-old boy, like going into high school. What was your mindset then? Going into these, I see the smile.
So, well, let me give you like right before high school, because I'll give you a quick story that it changed my life. It was one of those, one of those, and so I got a lot of trouble because I just wanted attention. And a lot of kids today, the same way, they don't know how to get it by being good. So they do bad things, anything to get attention. Okay. So I got trouble at school, trouble at home, trouble at the law. And I never forget, I was about to get kicked out of public school. Now, you bad when you about to get kicked out of public school, right? I don't know how my mom did it. She made a miracle. Man, my hats are off to every mother. I'm telling you, mothers are amazing. My mom figured out a way. We barely could exist, but she figured out a way, working 2 jobs, to send me and my brothers to a Catholic school to try to reform me. And she wanted us all to be together. Well, I got kicked out of there. You know, two guys jumped me, and when I was hitting them, the nuns, by the way, they beat your knuckles with rulers, and that helped me get ready for the martial arts too, by the way. But anyway, so I'll never forget coming home. My mom, she worked 2 jobs, but she happened to be home. She was asleep on the couch. And when I came through the door, she heard, she woke up. She's like, "What are you doing here?" And I said, I got kicked out of school. And my mom was she was a tomboy. She had 5 boys, so she had to be kind of rough. But anyway, and she started
knocking out boyfriends too. So yeah, she was tough.
Exactly. She started tearing into me. "Boy, you about to drive, you gotta have, if you ever had a black mother, you know what I'm talking about. Boy, you about to drive me to an early grade. I'm doing the best I can to raise y'all. Your dad's not around to help me. I don't have nobody help me. And I'm doing everything." And then all of a sudden,
let's go.
All of a sudden, she started crying. I'd never seen my mom cry before. My mom was rough, and she had to be. And she started crying. Let me tell you something. Whenever you see someone shed tears for you, well, at least this is what happened for me. She started crying, and she said, "But you know what?" She said, "But I know one day you gonna make me proud of you. I just know you are." Oh, man. It hit my heart. I was like, the only person that really cares about me, I'm breaking her heart. Right. But then but the tears softened my heart. And then she planted that seed when she said, "But I know one day you're going to make me proud of you." I made up in my mind from that day on, I will never get in trouble in school again. I never got in trouble anymore. Ended up on the dean's list. Matter of fact, when I went to graduate, top of my list, who's who and all that, went off to college. And I'm the guy who never thought I'd make it out of high school, right? So model student, top of the class, went off to college, graduate, dean's list, who's who and all that, and actually, did postgraduate work. And they hired me at the same institution to become a professor. And I'll never forget my mom one day, she flew out, and I travel preaching churches and I do business trainings and do all this. And so my mom said to me, she said, "Son," she's like, "I'm so proud of you." And then she says this, she said, "I'm just blessed to know a man of your stature." I was like, "Oh, Mom, you just reaping the harvest of the seeds that you sowed."
Wow.
She's like, what are you talking about?"
Wow.
I said, "You remember that time when I got kicked out of Catholic school and you was tearing into me, and then you stopped and you started crying. And you said, 'But I know one day you're going to make me proud of you.'" And I said, when you said that, I made up my mind. If it kills me, I'm going to make my mom proud of me.
That's good.
And I said, "So, Mom, I want to thank you, because first you cried and you softened up my heart. And then you dropped those seeds in. And now you're just reaping the harvest." And so I say to you, mothers, please speak hope and life into your children. I say to you, husbands, speak life into your wife and to your children. I say to the wife, speak life into each other. And then I had to learn to start speaking life into myself. Scripture says David encouraged himself. And so I had to learn to start speaking powerful things to myself, about myself. Because I used to speak negative stuff. "You dumb kid, you never amount to be anything." You didn't have to say that to me anymore. I started saying it to myself, "I'll never amount to be anything. I ain't nothing, gonna never be anything," or whatever, blah, 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 right? And now I turned that thing now. Matter of fact, I never forget, man, things is going good, and then I hit a rough patch. All my money was on one big basket, and it was a beautiful, beautiful basket, and it cracked. I lost everything. I was homeless, carless, phoneless. Now, I used to didn't tell this story until my first book came out. Your Breakthrough is Guaranteed. I had it somewhere around here. 7 Simple Steps to Your Success. Les Brown wrote the forward on that. But in this book, a lady said to me, she said, "Everybody ought to read page 80. And I was like, "Page 80? What?" She said, "Changed my life." She said, "I ought to pay 10 times the amount of that book." I'm like, "Page 80? What's on page 80? And that's when I told that story.
Right.
And I said how I was homeless and phoneless and carless. But I talked to myself. And I would say, I'm a rich man that happens to be low on cash, but God and I, oh, we changing it fast. I'm a rich man that happens to be low on cash, but my God and I were changing that fast. And I would say it in the mirror, I would say it loud. Again, I'm thinking, Muhammad Ali, I said I was the greatest a long time before I ever believed it. It's a long time, 2 months, it's a long time, 2 years. I don't know. But I figure I'll say it long enough and loud enough until I really believe it. Because when I really believe it, it's going to affect my behavior.
That's good.
And so that is when I was homeless, carless, and now again, you've heard of people that, well, they was homeless, but they had their car, they could sleep and all that. No, homeless, carless, and phoneless. Now today, phoneless is a whole lot worse, right? Back then,
right,
it was, but still, but thank God, a friend let me stay in. They had a little trailer. Hey, Doc, you can stay in this little trailer, whatever. And man, you talking about embarrassed, but I was like, hey, but it ain't gonna last long. And I would talk to myself, because again, your mind, if you don't talk to it right, so you got to discipline your mind. You can't let it go down there, right? You got to get rid of the stinking thinking. By the way, people talk about brainwash. I was brain dirtied. My brain needed to be washed. I said to somebody today, think about this. If you don't take a bath every day, like most people know to take a bath every day, some of us take a bath or shower twice a day. But wait a minute. How often do you clean your brain? Your brain's been dirtied by the news. It's dirtied by the negativity. It's dirtied. And so I need to wash my brain. So that's why I have these sayings that I use, that it's washing my brain from the negativity. So we've been brain dirtied. We need to be brain washed with something good and positive, right? So I say optimism always creates opportunities for those who remain optimistic in spite of a pessimistic situation. Oh, I got to say that again. I said optimism always creates opportunities for those who remain optimistic in spite of a pessimistic situation. So in that situation, I was being optimistic, right? And so guess what? Finally, the guy, the little trailer there, the guy said, look, I got a phone here. You can use this phone. And I called this guy. I found his number. He said, man, I've been looking for you. He said, yeah, your phone is. I said, yeah, don't worry about that. And by the way, you don't need to tell people about your problems. Mark this down. I hate to tell you this. Nobody cares except you and the people who you owe. They don't want to care about your bills and your problems. So ain't no need. I told it to God, right? And I said, one day this story will serve a lot of people. For some reason, God has a plan for me to go through this, right? I mean, if Jesus was perfect and he was put on the cross and beaten and betrayed, why do I think I'm going to go through something? So I was like, okay. I know one thing for sure. Next time I get back on my feet, I'm not going to have just one income stream. I can guarantee you that one. So I got 10 now. But anyway, so watch this. So this guy says, we've been looking for you. This company, they want to send you on a speaking tour. I said, I'll take it. He said, I didn't even tell you that. I said, I'll take it. But can I give you the details? Fine, but I'll take it. I didn't tell him my situation. I said, by the way, they can fly me out tomorrow. I'm available as easy as tomorrow. And make a long story short, they flew me out, and they had it was in Dallas at the time. I lived in Pennsylvania, and they had a tour all throughout Oklahoma, Dallas, the Texas area and so forth. So, and I said, long as y'all put me out, I can just stay out here. I don't even need to, and save you guys money and whatever. And so they said, okay. And so the guy said, hey, by the way, this is a home-based business, network marketing. He said, I know you don't really build these anymore, but let me just put a spot in for you. And if somebody comes to hear you speak and they're interested, just send them to me and I'll sign them up for you. Well, that's where I tell the story about literally I got started with that. The guy put the spot in. I started getting checks from there, started getting as big as my speaking check. So I said to the guy, Dave, show me this compensation plan, how it works. I'm like, this is getting pretty good. Make a long story short, 5.5 months. Now imagine, I'm phoneless, homeless, carless. But I wasn't hopeless though. Come on, somebody. I still had hope. I said, hold on, Harris, pain ends. I said, have only positive expectations. You all the way down and can't get nothing but up, right? What is it? Les Brown says, if life fall on your back, because long as you can look up, you can get up. And Willie Dolly says a setback is a setup for a comeback. And Dr. Breakthrough says, and a setback paves the way for a comeback. And listen, my friend, and when you have your breakdown, it's get this now, prerequisite for you to have your breakthrough. Your undeniable breakthrough usually only comes after an overwhelming breakdown. The scripture says, unless a corn of wheat fall into the ground and die, it abideth alone. But if it breaks down, If it breaks apart, it'll bring forth much fruit. So I started saying, my breakthrough's coming. It's a coming. It's a coming. It's a coming. And that, by the way, I forgot to even mention this. Right before that trip, there was a speaking engagement that opened up that I could speak with Willie Jolly at Howard University. And I told somebody, man, if you please, can you give me a ride? Or if you let me borrow your car, fine, but if you give me a ride, I'm gonna get paid if I speak, and I'll be able to. And I had some books in my stores now. I said I could sell my books. They said okay, and they let me use a car. And I went there, and Willie Jolly said to me, he said, man, Doc, the way you speak on breakthrough, and he said, when you speak, a lot of times I have boards with things written on like fear, death, procrastination and doubt and all that. He said, you explain breakthrough better than anybody I know. You demonstrate it better. He said, you know how a person goes to a doctor and a doctor writes a prescription? He said, branding's everything. I know you got a PhD in martial arts, a doctor of divinity, and a few credits away from a doctor of naturopath, which is all about helping the body get healthy without medication. He said, but branding's everything. Dr. Stan's okay. He said, but you should be called Dr. Breakthrough. Because see, when somebody needs a breakthrough, you're the guy with the prescription. And I said to him, Willie, I thank you. Those are kind words. I'm not sure it's true, but I promise for the rest of my life, I'll make sure it's true. I was still homeless and carless and phoneless at that time. And that's right before I went out to that trip. So you see what I'm saying? So I could have been like some people. Oh, no, you don't know I don't even have a car. You don't need to know that. Nobody needs to know that. They don't even care, really. But if they do care, don't even need to know it. I already told it to God. And listen, watch this, though. But what I'm saying is this. God has a sense of humor. They're going to call me Dr. Breakthrough when I'm the most broken down that I've ever been in my life. So I could have rejected it or I could have accepted it. And I accepted it.
You accepted it. That's good.
5.5 months later, I was making $25,000 per week. Wait a minute. Up to that point, I never made $25,000 in a month. Phoneless, homeless, carless. 5.5 months later, I'm making $100,000 a month. I'm no longer a phoneless car. Had to pay cash for a car because my credit was all ruined. Jerry Clark was a guy who had a mini mansion sitting.
Rhino.
Yeah, the Rhino. Well, about a year before, I was speaking at an event with and he said, Doc, I'm going to show you this little beach house. Well, we drove 2.5 hours up to Lake Texoma. This big old mini mansion sitting over top of the water, right looking over Lake Texoma, and something inside said, you're going to live here one day. Now, I didn't covet what he had, but get this, something says you're going to live here one day. And I didn't say anything. I thought that's weird. And so I'm speaking for this company, and Jerry we happen to cross paths because he lived in Dallas. And he said, hey, Doc, you remember that little place? He said, man, if you ever think about moving out to Dallas, I'll give you a good deal. I said, I'll take it. He said, I said, I'll take it. I went from being homeless. I'll send you a picture of it, man. 5,000 square foot sitting on top of the water. I love wraparound porch. 3 wraparound porches, my friend. Only God, only God, only God. So I'm telling you, I'm not telling you some stuff that I read about in a book or that I heard. I've lived this, my friend. I've lived this.
Where did it come from? Like, how do you go from being the tar-feathered kid, 6 years old, rebellious, to all of a sudden I'm making $25,000. What was that transformation mentally? Like, when did it click for you? What did you put in place? When did that thing just like, wow, where you just knew I'm finna walk in this?
It's a journey. It's a journey. And it started with the one decision, though. So I have what's called a 21-day breakthrough challenge, because I've had this question asked to me a lot of times. So I put together a 21-day breakthrough challenge where it's called micro coaching. And I take 45 years and I take the 21 of the main things. So Les Brown and I were speaking in London, and he made this statement, and it shocked me. And I said, I'm gonna challenge myself. He said, the greatest speakers are those who could take the fewest words and make them go the farthest. I was like, wow. So I said, I'm gonna develop a mini coaching in this 3 to 5 minutes, 21 days. They'll establish this new habit. And I'm going to teach them I put the 21 main things that took me from being a mess to a master. And I took those 21 main topics and I boiled them down to 3 to 5 minute videos. Mm-hmm. And so now people can, again, it's called the 21-day breakthrough challenge, and people can go through that. There's a company I speak for and work for, and the guy gave a testimony last night. He said, man, I have my own company. I used to pay Dr. Bray. He said, man, Guy, it's very expensive. I mean, I've been paid as much as $1,000 a minute. Again, I never even dreamed that would happen, and I'm sure it'll go even further than that. But I just want your audience, and again, I guess the young folks, I'm not flexing. I mean, my greatest flex is that in all of my mistakes, God didn't give up on me. That's my greatest.
Go ahead and flex on.
but again, it's a process. So write this down. If you just get this one, you need to take my 21-day breakthrough challenge. And again, I'm not trying to sell you. Listen carefully. I don't sell. I make things available to people that are sick and tired of being sick, broken, tired, and say, you know what? I want to be mentored by somebody. By the way, a mentor is someone who's been where you haven't been, who maybe knows something that you may not know, who sees in you what you can't see in yourself, and is willing to help take you down that journey. And
real quick, before you go further, drop that website real quick so they can go ahead and get that. I want to make sure that we put that right now. What's that website?
www.theinternetmentor.com. www.theinternetmentor.com. If you go to it's going to open up to be Breakthrough Empowerment Center. Now, I've got some free trainings there also. So you definitely want to take care of those free. But if you want to really go, the 21-day breakthrough challenge, I'll give you just a piece of it. I'll give you, one lady wrote me and she said, day 4, she said, I would have paid 10 times the price for just what you gave in day 4. Here's day 4 in a nutshell. You ready?
Let's go.
Once I make up my mind to do something, God will orchestrate circumstances to align themselves in my favor. When I say I can't, my mind stops trying. But once I ask, how can I? My mind keeps searching till it finds a way. There is a way, and I will find it. And if not, by the grace of God, I'll invent it. So let me say it again. See, once I make up my mind, see, you got to get to a place where you're hurting and you're hungry. You make up your mind. Many people never have their mind made up. They just kind of, no. Once I make up my mind to do something, God will now start to orchestrate circumstances to align them. See, I made up my mind. I'm a rich man, happen to be low on cash, but God and I are changing that fast. Willie Jolly calls me Dr. Breakthrough, says I got the prescription that if people follow it, they'll get a breakthrough. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna follow my own prescription, get my own breakthroughs, and they really gonna want to follow, right? So again, once I make up my mind to do something, God will orchestrate circumstances to align themselves in my favor. The guy says, here's a phone. I call the guy, hey, we've been looking for you. 5.5 months later, I'm making $100,000 a month. Are y'all hearing me? I'm not speaking what I heard. I'm telling you. So that's just day 4 alone. If you get that, once you make up your mind to do something, God will orchestrate circumstances to align themselves. Some people say, oh, that's a coincidence. No, a coincidence is God's way of remaining anonymous. See, when I was a little boy and I said, that's it, I'm sick and tired of being beat up, I'm going, all of a sudden, coincidentally, my mom won a free monthly karate lesson, and none of my other brothers went, but coincidentally, whatever, I went. No. See, that was all, because I made up my mind to do something. Circumstances align themselves. See, when I say I can't, my mind stops trying. So I just stopped saying. Remember, I said I used to hear people say, I was like, I can never do that. As long as I said that, I never could. I used to see people do martial arts. I'm like, I can never do that. I never could. But when I said, wait a minute, if they are doing it, maybe if I have the mindset that I can, and if I get me a mentor, if I get me a coach. By the way, your breakthrough comes faster when one of your mentors is a minister in 10th degree black belt grandmaster. So once I make up my mind to do something, God will orchestrate circumstances to align themselves in my favor. When I say I can't, my mind stops trying. See, life and death are in the power of the tongue. When I say I can't, oh, it's too hard. It'll never work. You're killing your own dreams. You're bringing death to what God wants to give life in you, my friend. So when I say I can't, my mind stops trying. But once I say, how can I? So you got to learn to ask the right questions of yourself, of life, and of God. How can I? My mind keeps searching till it finds a way. There's a way, and I will find it. And if not, by the grace of God, I'll invent it. Brother, you've heard the statement, necessity is what? The mother of invention. So I invented this 21-day breakthrough challenge to show people the journey that I went on. Now, write this one down too. Watch this. You got to be committed. Keyword number 1, committed. You got to be committed to the process. Keyword number 2, process. You got to be committed to the process of being bad and feeling bad for as long as it takes to get good. Oh, they didn't hear that one. See,
that's the uncomfortable place.
Bro, you that's where the grind comes in. Right? You got to be committed to but coach, I don't feel it. Don't matter. Just keep doing it, right? You got to be committed to the process of being bad or feeling bad for as long as it takes to get good. I got the imposter syndrome. Baby, you get good enough, you ain't gonna have no keep on doing it. Do it when you feel like it. Do it when you don't feel like it. Keep doing it till you do feel like it. And so Dr. Breakthrough gives you these words. Write this down, live by it. I will until. Ooh, come on now. See, I will until.
Listen, I told y'all he gonna be rattling them off quickly. And if you're not ready, you're gonna miss them. I'm telling you. Go ahead, sir. I'm sorry.
No.
I will until.
Yes. By the way, and this is not, can I just coach you a little bit? I know you didn't mean it the way you said, but let me help because it'll help your listeners.
Right.
Never say the word I am and put something negative after it. I am is programmed your subconscious. So in my house growing up, my children were never allowed to say I am SORRY. You can apologize. You can say, forgive me. You can say, I didn't mean that. But you never say I am because you're telling the subconscious. So I ingrained and taught my children this so much. My oldest son, he went to the Marines. He said, Dad, it was so, he said, every time somebody said, you can't say that. He said, Dad, I didn't even realize I was doing this. He said, you trained us so much into that. And so he said he would teach people, and he said he had so many of these young Marines that later on would tell him, that little thing changed my life because I would always say to myself, I am an SORRY. But see, I am is programming your subconscious. So I always get a bunch of I am powerful statements like I am an overcomer. I am confident. I'm a blessed and highly favored. I am, so just for you listeners, don't I am, it's got to be positive after that. So again, or just say the word sorry, but don't say I am, and then that way. So you use that. I'm saying, but it's amazing our brains, and because also it puts out energy. Like when you dream, you wake up. If you dream, you're falling off a roof, like I do sometimes. Because when I was a child, we used to jump roofs, and one time I was jumping the roof, and the guys, hey, and I tried to stop in midair and look down. Well, guess what? I went down, broke my wrist, whatever. But anyway, so sometimes I dream about that. And I wake up, what happened? Your mind doesn't know the difference between that which is real and that which is vividly imagined. So the body discharges the energy as if it happened. That's why in the martial arts, they taught us, see, meditation is not getting down, thinking about some Buddha. No, meditation is literally imagination, seeing things happen. So before I break boards or bricks, like the other day, I broke 22 inches of cement block on fire. Well, I break them a long time in my mind before I ever attempt to break them. You see what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is this: you got to see things the way you want it to happen. You got to see it, right? I saw myself marrying this beautiful queen. I saw myself marrying this woman with such depth to her. And now I found her, 17 years ago. And as soon as we married, she called me her king. And I was like, oh, no. I was like, that. She's like, no, you're my king. And brother Alan, I didn't realize it. At that time, I didn't fully know all of who I was. So she just kept calling me her king. And then one day I said, okay, my queen. And so I realized she was saying, he may not know all who he is, but I know all who I am. And so women and every man is both a fool and a king. So you can call out what you want. My wife called out the king in me. If you call her phone now, and it'll be my picture, and they'll say my king, right? So here's what I'm saying. The power, I can't emphasize the power of the words, right? The power. She kept calling me king. I was like, I got to step up. But then the Bible already said he's made us kings and priests. So I'm like, man, what am I? But I was trying to be humble, right?
Humble yourself. Trying to be humble when it was actually in alignment to what the word says.
Come on. So what I'm telling you is we are a lot more. We learned that the strongest man in the world, the smartest man in the world only uses 10% of his brain capacity. So that's why these different things, they keep breaking records and so forth, because again, there's so much untapped potential. So I wish you understood. But my 21-day breakthrough challenge, I take you step by step through the process, through the journey. And like I said the other day, a man was saying, he said, man, I used to pay this man a lot of money to come speak at my franchises. Now he does home-based business. And he said, I go through his 21-day breakthrough challenge every month. And now recently they just hired him. His business that he's been building as a distributor, they now made him the executive vice president of sales over the whole company. And he told him the other day, he said, Dr. Breakthrough, his 21-day breakthrough challenge, I give that credit. He said, because one of the things I teach people is you got to For instance, my newest book, Kingdompreneur, The Art of Doing Business God's Way with God's Blessings. You got to learn to read a book until you become the book. See, I got lessons I've listened to 100 times. My good friend Myron Golden that I used to mentor way in the early days, we were Batman and Robin. I was Batman, he was Robin. Now I'm Batman, he's Superman. I mean, God bless him.
I was going to say, gotcha.
He everywhere, man. You know what I mean? But I was like, hey, it's like I told my son. I said, son, because he said, well, Dad, one day I'm be able to get you. He's a 2nd degree black belt. And I said, well, if you ever get me one day, just know I'm going to tell everybody I trained him right.
Good.
But I said, but Jesus said, the works that I do shall you do also, in greater works. So a true mentor should say this. And here's what I say. If you believe like I believe and do like I do, what happens for me can happen for you. But because I'm not the standard, it can happen even better for you. That's my desire. That's my prayer. That's why I write books. That's why I put together my 21-day breakthrough challenge. And my objective is by 2028 or sooner to empower 1 million or more people to experience one or more breakthroughs in 21 days or less through that 21-day breakthrough challenge. And so I'd love for you to be able to get that. And I want to make a special offer. If the name of the show, you just give me a special code name if you want to say On the Grind.
On the Grind Coach.
Okay.
On the Grind Coach.
Okay. So I think it has to be all together. I don't know if it's separate words, but On the Grind Coach all together. If you go there, it's going to give you 50% off of the price on my 21-day breakthrough challenge. Again, I got some stuff that's free, like my daily attitude adjuster. You all need to go through that. It helps adjust your daily attitude adjuster. But if you go there, theinternetmentor.com, you can sign up for free for that. Now, when you go to check out, it's going to say 0, so it's not going to charge anything. You know what I mean? But the 21-day breakthrough challenge, if you take that, we'll have it within an hour after I'm done. If you go to theinternetmentor.com, you click on my 21-day breakthrough challenge, On the Grind Coach, all together, no spaces. On the Grind Coach, you're going to get 50% off. Simply because you heard us here, right?
We're gonna put that in the comment.
Your people. And then you, my brother, I'm gonna bless you. I'm gonna bless you with one just for free, man. I want you, since you're the On the Grind Coach, you can go through it, my friend, and then we can talk about how we can help reach more people.
Absolutely. You talk a lot about affirmations, declarations. What's your daily routine actually look like? What does
wake up early in the morning before the sun's up, and I pray. I got a simple 5-point prayer. Number 1, God, love yourself through me today. Love yourself through me today. Number 2, love me through myself today. See, if you don't love you, you can't love anybody. Bob says, love your neighbor as yourself. Well, see, most people hate themselves, but don't know it. So you can't love your neighbor because you don't even love you. So you got to be full of the love. And so first so love received is love conceived. And so I say, Lord, love yourself through me today. And then, Lord, love me through myself. And then I pray for a while, Lord, love my wife through me the way she needs to be loved, psychologically, physically, emotionally, sexually, love every way she needs to be loved. And then I pray, Lord, love my children. I pray for each of my children by name. I have 4, Nadia have 4. We married 17 years ago. Now we got 8 together. And the last one is out of the house now. So we got the empty nest syndrome. But anyway, so I call out Christina, Dr. Christina, and Lord, and I pray the breakthrough bloodline blessing on her and her descendants. And Lord, I pray again, love my daughter through me. And I pray, Lord, love Joshua through me. Lord, I pray the breakthrough bloodline bless. So every day I go through that, I pray. And then I pray, Lord, love my clients through me today. See, my greatest strategy as a kingdompreneur is love, that I do what I do out of love for people, not love of money. No. I don't chase money. I chase God. And when I chase God, he causes the money and blessings to chase me. So I start off with prayer, and then I go on my breakthrough walk, and I usually do 2 or 3 miles. Now, so far today, now maybe because I knew I was going to be on the grind here, I'm at 5 miles. I'm at 5 miles, for the day so far. But,
oh my God.
Yeah. So one of the things I do, like if you call me, you're not going to get me unless I'm on my breakthrough walk, or unless I'm on my elliptical, or unless I'm on my treadmill. So I learned to multitask, right? Because people's like, how do you, all the stuff you do, how do you get all this in, right? So I'm memorizing scripture, and I say these declarations. I got a declaration for the month of March, by the way, that I'd love to be able to, matter of fact, my acronym for March, I'll just throw this at you real quick. Manifesting abundant riches, choosing hope. March, M-A-R-C-H, manifest. So for this whole month, I claim I manifest abundant riches, choosing hope. Now, some people choose doubt, and no, I choose hope. HOPE, hold on, pain ends. Hope, HOPE, have only positive expectations. So one of the things I say to myself every day is everything good that can happen will happen, and it will happen at the best possible time, even though I may not recognize it at that time, and I usually don't. So, right? It's because one day I was driving down the highway and I pulled my car over and I went around and opened up the passenger door and I yelled at the top of my lungs. Now people driving down the highway, I'm like, get out, get out. You know what I did? I kicked Murphy out. I kicked him out of my car. I kicked him out of my mind. I kicked him out of my house. I said, I don't even know who this Murphy is. I don't like his law. I don't know like the effects. I know me. I like me. I'm going to develop my own law. And so Dr. Breakthrough's law, everything good that can happen will happen. And it will happen at the best possible time, even though I may not always recognize it at that time. So guess what, my friend? People say, well, does everything good happen? Listen, that main thing at that time may not be good, but as I look back over in my life, like some of you realize some things like being beaten, tarred, and feathered, it was a terrible thing at the time. But I look back now and I was sharing with somebody, I'm glad. I'm literally glad it happened now because it helped me to be the man. It pushed me when I got started in martial arts. Everybody else, they just barely, man, they like, Harris, relax, man. No, y'all don't know what I've been through. You don't know what I'm up against. Are you with me? So what I'm saying though is this though. So I say that to myself. I say every day, here's another one. People love to buy from me and they love to be sold. The right kind of people love to buy from me. And they love to be sold by me because I only sell them what they want or need at a price agreeable to them and with customer service that exceeds their expectations. By the way, everybody that goes and gets my 21-day breakthrough challenge, I'm going to make them irresistible. I just thought about that. I just said that. So I'm going to give you an irresistible offer. Everybody goes, gets my 21-day breakthrough challenge. Or if you go to my website, drbreakthrough.com, and you get at least the book, your breakthrough is guaranteed, or Kingdompreneur. But I really want you to get that 21-day. I think you need it. You're going to get it 50% off on the Grind Coach altogether, no spaces, 50% off. But then I'm going to throw in, this is crazy. Are you ready? An 8-day, 7-night vacation certificate for 4- and 5-star resorts, 3,000 different locations around the world. No timeshare presentation to watch. You just have to pay a $19 activation fee and you just pay the taxes. Now, we're talking about resorts that are valued at between $2,500 to $5,400. Now, you just have to get there, obviously, and you got to pay for your food. And that's the way they make some money because they're losing money on the room. But we negotiated with this. But this is crazy. And I've had people that have gone and I'll send you a couple of testimonials, but one guy in particular and his wife went to Bahamas and they were just so blown away. They were asking people, hey, we got a special deal on this. What did y'all pay for this room or this resort? They got between $5,000 to $6,000. And they called me, they said, Dr. Breakthrough, and they're taking, of course, all kind of pictures. Man, we can't thank you enough. Like man, what else do we have that we could buy from you? But again, you got to incentivize people, make an irresistible offer, right? So I'm going to do that for everybody. Not only 50% off, you'll get an 8-day, 7-night vacation, my friend. And again, over 3,000 locations. And again, these aren't hotels. These are 4- and 5-star resorts, right? So I had one guy said, man, I heard about those vacation things before, and he's thinking it's a hotel. So he just found one that was 2 hours away from his house. It was a 2-room suite, full kitchen, everything, resort balcony and everything. He calls me, he's taking pictures, he said, dude, this is a resort. I said, I told you. Wow. And so anyway, and him and his wife, he's 74. And he gave me one of the most glowing, I had to send it to you. He said, Doc, my wife and I, we were all both busy. He said, we got there and we just relaxed. He said, we fell in love again. He said, do you know how good it is to fall in love again with the person you committed your life to? Man, do you know how good that feels? I mean, they felt good, but he said, we went there stressed. We left holding suitcases with one hand, holding hands with the other. He said, I'm driving down the highway, holding my baby's hand. I said, man, oh man, oh man, I'm so glad I could be a blessing. So again, the internetmentor.com, 21-day breakthrough challenge. Give me at least an hour after, and then on the Grind Coach is, you got to put that in as a coupon code and you'll see it'll drop 50% off. Then I need you, my friend. I need you. When you do that, I just need you to text me a copy of your receipt. Text me because I got orders coming in from all over. So I got to find that you heard me here. And of course, the on the Grind Coach altogether will help me know. But text this number 717-275-3508. So text the receipt, copy the receipt, 717-275-3508. Now, if you just go to the internetmentor.com, put in the 21-day breakthrough challenge on the grind coach altogether, you're going to get the 50% off. You're not going to get that 8-day, 7-night vacation unless you text 717-275-3508 with your name and then also a copy of the receipt. And we'll rush that to you right away, my friend. And I believe it'll change your life.
I love it.
I call that the breakthrough Godfather offer, too good to refuse.
You can't listen. I need to get one of them vouchers too. I need to figure out how I can get one.
We'll talk, bro. We'll talk.
What's up? What's up?
Yeah, I spoke for a company, man. And see, that's another beautiful thing about when you can be used of God to help change people's lives. And they're like, man, look, I want to do something for you. What can, and so we were able to negotiate some things and do some things.
I love it. What's next?
Because you ain't the only one on the grind, brother.
I know, right? You doing it. Listen.
Yeah.
What's next for Dr. Breakthrough? Man, we didn't talk so much tonight, man. You didn't share so many gems. I think every question that I probably had that went out the window because you kind of just took it to another level that I didn't even thought about. So I appreciate it. What's next for Dr. Breakthrough? Well,
what's next is we actually have ownership now in a couple of companies that we work with. Well, usually I don't work with especially home-based businesses anymore unless they leverage my Dr. Breakthrough LLC, my training company, right? But now we've actually, I said, well, you know what? I want to start having ownership. I mean, look, I got gray hair, I've been around the block a few times. And so I put that out there. And so one company had me speak for them. And they was like, man, we got to make you an offer. And so they offered me to be the chief breakthrough, get this now, CBO, chief breakthrough officer.
I love it. Bible says you'll give.
They said we had to invent something special because you different, man. We ain't never seen nothing like you. And so anyway, chief breakthrough officer. And so I get to speak and try, but they also offer me some ownership. And I was like, whoa. So anyway, and then this other company that I spoke for, and then they was like, Doc, we got to have you. I was like, man, look, I speak for different companies. I do so much things. I preach in churches and I travel and I do this. And they said, look, okay, we'll offer you some ownership. Okay, now I'm listening. Said it again in the ownership here. And so anyway, so what's next? Again, my friend, is I'm working toward producing like all my Dr. Breakthrough, like the 21-day breakthrough challenge. I'm working on what's called a mental self-defense. Now I got a course on that, mental self-defense, learning how to defend yourself against your greatest opponent, which is your undisciplined or subconscious mind, or what I call mental MMA, instead of mixed martial arts, mental martial arts, learning how to turn your greatest enemy into your greatest ally, right? And so anyway, so I'm going to show people how to get their black belt in mental martial arts or mental self-defense. And so they'll go, so I'll have these different trainings, and so we'll have certifications and anyway, but that's the next big thing I'll be working on, and that'll be all my baby, and to be training people, because again, I found out again, the old African proverb, if there's no enemy within, the enemy without can do you no harm. And the enemy without wasn't harming me much. It was the real one was the one in here, that one in here, right? And even at first when I was heard about having mentors, and I'm like, well, they ain't for me. They really wouldn't want to, they don't understand no. And by the way, I got to drop this last one. A mentor is not one whose advice you seek only, but a mentor is one whose advice you follow. Because a true mentor will seem like a tormentor until you become an implementer. I need a mic, bro.
That's good. That's good.
I said a true mentor will seem like a tormentor until you become an implementer. See, mentors don't just teach you stuff. No, you got to practice. See, we didn't go to karate lectures. We went to karate practice. We had to do it over and over and over and over until it became part of our subconscious, until literally without even thinking, we just bam, right? So one time I tell this story and I'm done. I was trying to show off in college. And whenever you're trying to show off, so Myron Golden's on the back. He don't like me telling the story now, but hey, so he's on the back of the motorcycle. Well, I shouldn't say that. He really does, I mean, he's so down to earth. I mean, the guy is like everywhere, but he's still down to earth. And, but anyway, I had him on the back and I'm trying to show off for these guys. I had a 900 Kawasaki double overhead camshaft. I gunned the thing, and I wasn't thinking it was gravel. When I did that thing, it threw both of us right over the handlebars. Poor Myron, he still got scars on his elbows, where his help, he caught it. And they said, Harris, how you do that? I was like, do what? They're like, okay, well, Myron, he landed, you did a flip in the air, you land on your feet. And I'm like, hey, yeah, I am. Yeah. I mean, I didn't get hurt at all. Just whew. Then I realized when I said, Sensei, we've done this so many times. I got it. He said, no, you ain't got it. No, Sensei, I do. No, you don't. You got to keep on and keep on. And then it dawned on me. That's what he meant. I didn't even realize what I did, right? But I'm glad he made me do it over and over and over again. And I saved now Myron at the time was still, I think it was a green belt, white belt, green belt. And then I was his sensei for a while and then mentored him. And now he's my business mentor. I mean, the guy, he's like, I mean, it's amazing some of the things that he comes up with. Matter of fact, I spoke at his conference not long ago. And he had me stand up. He said, everybody, see the guy down here, Dr. Breakthrough? He said, it's because of him that I got in the Bible. And all this is because of him. And I was like, nah, bro, I appreciate that. But, and so afterwards, I'm back talking to him. I said, man, I may have gotten you in the Bible, but bro, you be talking stuff about the Bible I ain't never heard before. I'd be like,
that's it.
So, right. So that's the beauty of life. See, we may not have it all together, but together we have it all. Okay. So you got strengths I don't have. And thank you, my brother, for again, what you're doing, because you got some stuff I don't have. But if we work together, collaborate, and that's what this book is all about, the power of collaboration. Competition is the way of the jungle. A higher level is cooperation, the way of civilization. The highest level is collaboration, the way of the kingdom. The fastest, most reliable. I mean, if FedEx and Kinko's can work together, why can't we? Amazon got the deal and they said, okay, we just going to make some connections and collaborate. Why can't we? Wow. So go to the internetmentor.com. The coupon code you got to have all together on the grind coach. And then, my friend, once you make that purchase of the 21-day breakthrough challenge and get your 50% discount, then what's going to happen then is you text the receipt to 717-275-3508, and we'll send you an 8-day, 7-night vacation certificate that you just pay a $20 activation fee. You just pay the taxes. And the taxes are normally, again, based on $2,500 to $5,400. So it's usually about $350 worth of taxes. And again, if finances are tough, I told you my story. So just go to drbreakthrough.com and at least just get the book. I'll still send you on a complimentary vacation. Y'all remember Oprah Winfrey? She's like, you get a car, and you get a car, you get a vacation, you get a vacation, you get a vacation, you get 50% off my 21. Okay.
I love it. Yes, sir. Doc, listen, man, we had an absolutely amazing show. I really appreciate you just taking the time out to schedule as always, man. And I remember you told me, you was like, let's make it happen. I'm there. So, and you was true to your word. And so I appreciate you. Appreciate everything you're doing. I appreciate the mentorship that you stole upon so many of us. And I just thank God for your being, man. I thank God for you. So as always, I'll always give the guests the final, the preview to say whatever you want to say, encourage the people. So therefore they can walk away with something powerful. So the floor is yours, sir.
Well, first of all, I want to say to you again, thank you for what you do. And I always tell people, if you can spot it, it's because you got it. So again, thank you, my brother. I think you're making a greater difference than you ever know. I wish there was somebody like you back when I was younger, and I could have heard, some of the things and be exposed to some of the guests that you're bringing on. So folks out there, please support this man. Spread the message far and wide. It's so bad that this stuff goes viral, that's negative and nasty, and good positive stuff is like thrown, pushed in the cover. But enough of that. So I want to close. I wrote this piece. It's called Broken versus Breakthrough Woman or Man. And I wish this for each of one of you. So I refuse to be a settled or broken woman or man. It's my right and choice to focus on being a breakthrough man. I seek opportunity, not security. I do not wish to be a kept American, humbled and dulled by having the state or job take care of me. I'm going to take the calculated risk, to dream and to build, to fail if I have to until I succeed. I refuse to live from month to month, always robbing Peter to pay Paul. I prefer the challenge of life instead of the guaranteed existence of so-called security. I'd rather experience the thrill of fulfillment than the so-called comfort zone of familiarity. I will never bow to any master disaster nor bend any threat. It's my heritage to stand erect, unstoppable and unafraid, boldly full of faith and say, this, by the help of God, I've done, and will continue to do, because it's my time to shine. It's breakthrough time. Hey, my name is Dr. Stan Harris. They call me Dr. Breakthrough. I can't provide a breakthrough. I just prescribe the breakthrough. But when you follow the prescription, God Almighty provides the breakthrough they desire and deserve. And a breakthrough, it's exploding through barriers that at one time seemed insurmountable. So any barrier that God did not make, it was made to be broken. So allow me, my 21-day breakthrough challenge, to help you step by step go from being a mess or mediocre to being a master, and in some cases, a grandmaster. God bless you.
Drop the mic. Drop the mic, sir. Drop the mic. Drop the mic. Sir, I appreciate you. And as always, if there's anything that I can do, we're going to collaborate. I know we got some stuff we're going to talk about. If there's anything I can do from that this show can provide for you, don't hesitate. I'm just a phone call away. But we definitely going to collaborate on some stuff. And so we put all the information actually in the comments. We put the phone number. We put the website. And remember now, go to that website. You're going to get that 50% off, like you said. And On the Grind Coach. On the Grind Coach. And so, sir, I appreciate you.
Well, thank you.
Absolutely.
Same
Absolutely.
here, man.
All right. Be blessed.
All righty. Don't forget, I'm waiting for my condition to catch up my position, because I'm already seated with it. Okay, let me stop. Hey, we keep this up. I'm going to take an offering. All right.
That's it. All right, Doc. I appreciate you. As always, everybody, listen. Another episode of On the Grind. Let's see if we can get back to the original. Here we go. What's this right here? Let's go. Yeah. As always, I absolutely love the show. I absolutely love what we're doing. That gentleman right there is absolutely amazing. He always drops the mic. He always brings that fire. I can't wait to kind of share with you some of the stuff that we're going to talk about, that we're going to do together, collaborations. So I'm so very, very excited to even have him in my life, to share his wisdom, share his journey as I embark upon this journey of life. I'm so thankful that I have someone like him that I can actually reach out to and take that call, right? And be able to just share from his journey, his perspective, where I am in life. So I'm so thankful for Dr. Stan Breakthrough Harris. Guys, listen, another episode. This is one for the books. This is one for the books. This is an amazing show, and I'm so thankful that I have this platform to bring to you some of the people that have just touched my life, to help you get your thoughts together, get your money together, get your mindset together. I'm just so thankful for this platform. So, listen, here we go. A couple housekeeping things. Don't forget, your boy got his book out there. There it is. Time to Shift. It's my book that I wrote. The mindset shifting book. You know, sometimes in life we have to shift. Things don't always go as planned. Things don't always go as we see them. So sometimes we have to shift and go a different direction. So it's time to shift. That's my book right there. You can get that on, it's available on Amazon, on Amazon.com. If you use that little QR code, you can then take you directly to the actual site and actually pick up the book. All right. So listen, where else? We talked about the Cash App. Here it is. Here's some of my stuff that you can go. If you want to go subscribe to the YouTube channel. The YouTube channel is at On the Grind Coach. At On the Grind Coach is my YouTube channel. If you want to Cash App me, this show bless you, and you want to send a little Cash App. Somebody told me about that. So we make sure that we put that out there. It's actually at On the Grind Coach as well. Cash App. I'm sorry. $, On the Grind Coach. $, On the Grind Coach. That's the actual Cash App. Listen, again, we're going to be back here next week. Another powerful show next week, man. I'm so excited. I'm bringing y'all some stuff, man. You need to be prepared, because Dr. Breakthrough, he dropped some gems tonight. For our guests, they're dropping gems on how they're actually getting this done. So you want to make sure you put that pen, that pad. Have it by the phone. Have it by the computer. So therefore, you can get this information that we're sharing each and every week. I'm bringing you some of the best mindset coaches and trainers and folks who getting it done out here. So you just need to be prepared, but we're going to show you exactly how they did it, how they actually got it done. All right. So next week, guys, don't forget, next week we're going to be right back here, 8 o'clock every Thursday. Every Thursday, we're going to be right here, 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. It's 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're live. This ain't edited. This ain't a pre-show. This is live. All right. So tune in next week. I love you guys. I appreciate you. Don't talk about it. Be about it. I'm out. Peace.